My God, it's been like almost a month since I have uploaded a video. Sorry. Okay, like a lot's been going on, and when I mean a lot, I mean like nothing is happening. I just been like, hey, nothing. Sorry. Okay, no, seriously. I've just been dealing with a lot of like health issues, you know. So based on the title of this video, I went to the ER, so you don't have to. Just kidding. If you guys are dealing with something, go to the hospital or like see a doctor or whatever. But like, I'm going to tell you guys what my experience was going to the ER in this pandemic. Oh my God. What the hell is wrong with my eye? Do you see this? Right? Ignore me. Okay. All right. So I've been dealing with my thyroid. Oh, backstory. I have hyperthyroidism, where your thyroid is it just is overactive, and 10 years ago I was losing a whole bunch of weight, which, like, who complains about that? No one. But like, I was always hungry, I was always hot, like a whole bunch of issues with that, right? But I started taking medicine for it, and it was always under control for all this time. But recently I've been having palpitations again, and like my family noticed that like my throat, like this area right here, I don't know if you guys can tell. Maybe most people can't tell, but like I'm overweight, so in general it looks like, oh girl, you just thick, like what you expect? But like I have this little choker that, like, when I put it on, it's a little too tight on me. Like I'm like, oh shit, oh man, that's tight, so I don't even wear it anymore. So it's that tight on me, and I'm like, okay, it's bigger than it has been, and I feel like an Adam's apple. It's gross. And it's on the right side where the thyroid, I have the issues on the right side of my throat. So I'm like, you know what, let me go see my doctor. But these doctors, I understand they're trying to like be careful. They're the ones to help us out, of course. But like, it's so bad that my appointment is like in another week or 2 weeks from now. And I'm like, bro, y'all, like, I understand COVID's an issue, but we got other issues other than COVID. Help us out. But anyways, you know, I'm like, let me go to urgent care, because they seem to want to help us out more than regular fucking doctors. So I go to urgent care. My sister comes with me, and they're like, I'm telling them my symptoms. They're like, oh, let's do an what the fuck is the name? Help me out. EKG. Hello. Okay. I go and get an EKG. And they're like, yeah, your heart rate is pretty fast. And then I have high blood pressure because, you know, I eat so well. But it was a little too fast. And they're like, you know what? We can't do much for you here, but based on your symptoms and what's happening, and like that there doesn't look normal, I mean, you really should go to the ER. And I'm like, ER? People are dying in the ER. I'm not trying to go to the ER. And I'm like, no, I'll just wait about 2.5 weeks. Then my doctor's like, no, ma'am, I think you should go now. I'm like, damn, what should I do? So, you know, when a doctor is telling you you should go right now because we can't help you, I'm like, okay, we'll do it. We'll go. Poof. So we went, right? But of course, you know, my sister couldn't go in. But let me tell you something. This sounds really messed up, but they were more like efficient because of all this, like pandemic situation than before. Because when I went in, even with my stuttering and aphasia and all that shit, I was explaining it to them what was going on, and they're like, okay, I had like 4 nurses. Yo, props to nurses, man, because they were like, okay, we got you. They did another EKG in the triage area. I'm telling you, there was like 45 fucking nurses in the triage area, all like handling business. I'm like, holy shit. I mean, like, they did, I don't know what they did. They checked my blood, left the IV in my arm. Yo, I'm gonna insert a picture of what my arm looked afterwards, because I'm developing a lot of allergies to everything. That's just not, I don't think it's my thyroid, or maybe it is my thyroid. I don't know. That's why I need to talk to my doctor. Doctor, where are you? Anyways, so they're just handling motherfucking business. Like, don't call me, I'm busy, people. Anyways, they're handling business, and I'm like, shit. So they got everything set up, all the blood tests, all that shit's done in the triage, and I'm telling you, in like 10 minutes, I'm in with the doctor. So when I get inside, I took pictures. I was in the green zone because like I was there for something other than COVID. So there was a little section where you could sit down and, don't call me, I said. Okay, so there's a little section where you can sit and everyone's sitting, like there's chairs for everyone, but you are in one chair space, another person. Oh, let me explain myself better. I'm so sorry. So it's individual chairs, and there's one person, empty seat, another person. That's how everyone was. So I was away from other people. I had my mask on, whatever, right? And where all the doctors were, I took a picture, and I will insert that too. And I'll blur people's faces, and I'm not gonna say what hospital I was in. But I was, there was like these big things from where all the doctors are, so like they're separate from the people. And then there's the orange area, which I don't know what that meant, but I guess that's where they had other symptoms or other issues. I wasn't sure what that was. I should have asked, but I was in the mood. So just the whole thing was great. Like people were just sitting there waiting to see their doctors and the nurses to be, for me to be treated. I saw someone, oh my God, I'm very popular, so, sorry. There was someone, they did a sonogram on my neck and the blood work, which is what all they did for me, and I was just waiting for the doctors to get the blood work done and the sonogram done. So while I was waiting for that happening, I had the nurse and then the doctor both talked to me. They explained to me what they could do for me while I was there. But while I was waiting, which normally before this pandemic in the hospital, I would have been there easily 12, 13 hours. No lie. I was there maybe 3 hours. And I was like, oh shit, I can go home? But this is not the end of my story. I'm sitting there, I'm still waiting for the test, for me to finish my tests and all that stuff. But while I'm waiting, this lady, she comes in and she is just whining about how the nurse, telling to this other nurse, she's like, why was she so mean to me? She took the blood, and she took the blood from like my only good vein, and now it's broken. I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? Like, now they can't take blood from any other part of my arms because that was my only good vein. And then the nurse is like listening to her, and she's like, oh, but like there's like a good vein on this shit. And she looked at it, she's like, no. I'm done. I'm just cracking up. I'm like, why is this girl even here? Like, go home. And I'm sitting there, I go get the sonogram, and I'm like sitting there, I'm like about to fall asleep. I'm like, okay. I come back in, they bring me back to my little corner. And then afterwards, this lady comes in, she has a bag, like she was throwing up. I'm not gonna lie, I felt very uncomfortable. I'm like, oh, please, I don't want what you have. And I'm just like, oh, Jesus, I wanna walk out. I wanna leave. And she's just like, oh, and she's, you know, talking to the nurse, and she's telling her how she's been throwing up, and she doesn't feel good. And then I'm like, oh, fuck. And then, dead ass, 10 minutes later, on the other side of me, like in front of me, this dude comes in also with a bag, because he was throwing up. I'm like, what is happening? I'm like, ooh, I need to get out of here. I'm like, where in the hell is my doctor? Where's the nurse? What? Take this IV out of my arm. I want to leave. I don't want to have what the fuck these people have. Why are they in the green zone? Go into the red zone. Go into the orange zone. Quarantine from me. I'm like, why are you in the ER? I'm like, oh God, what do they have? And I'm thinking, if it's just a regular bug, did you have to come to the ER? Did you pass out? Why are you here? I'm like, oh shit. Oh shit. And I'm thinking, why in the fuck did I come here? Like that damn lady from urgent care freaked me out, thinking like I'm gonna pass out if I don't go right now and handle my damn neck situation. So she convinced me to bring him. But now I'm thinking, why am I here? So I'm like all the way at the back of where I was. So I'm thinking like, can I like shimmy out of this without touching anybody? I'm like, either way, I felt like I was in a bad place. So then the doctor comes and talks to the girl first and says, oh, well, you have a virus. I'm like, well, no shit. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, oh, okay, well, you have a virus. You know, you need to be lots of liquids, try to avoid food. And he's kind of tell her basically without saying it, why in the fuck did you come here? Cause you just have a bug. And I'm like, yeah, bitch, why are you here? Like you ate something or you have a virus, you know, which we all used to have. But you know what? Let me not be a bitch, because I get it. You don't know what you have. You're scared. You might have something worse than just a regular bug, and you want a doctor to confirm it's just a bug. I get that. But now you exposing this to the world, and I'm also thinking, what do you have? And I'm just like, oh God. I just want to get out. And then right then, I'm not gonna lie, right then, the doctor comes in and she's like, okay, let's cut your IV. I'm like, take it out. And gave me all my information, told me I'm gonna try to call you a specialist for that, because you just need to up your thyroid medicine, and then that should get better. And I'm like, cool, awesome. And I'm like, okay, excuse me. Wash the fuck out of. I'm not even like, I got home and I pretty much threw out my shoes, my clothes. I put them in a separate little bag, and I took a shower, washed the fuck out of my hair. Cause I was just so paranoid. Yeah, and that was my ER experience. Yeah, that was. I mean, and it's good. I'm glad I went. I'm still waiting on my doctor, cause it's not the 31st, and I made the appointment like on the 3rd or the 4th. These doctors, and mind you, it's not even I'm going to his office, it's a virtual appointment. So these doctors, they're the best. I swear, I feel like nurses do so much. They're kicking ass. And urgent care doctors also, they do a lot. And ER doctors too, right? But I feel like I don't want to be an asshole. I'm gonna be. These regular doctors, like, they're just like tiptoeing too much, I feel, because they seem to forget people have other symptoms and other issues other than COVID and like much more serious issues. Like, you know, you gotta take care of those issues. And sometimes you have to see the patient, and a virtual visit isn't gonna cut it. So I don't really know. I don't know, because I know the other, I'm not gonna say the hospital I go to, but there's another hospital. I go to 2 different hospitals, and the other hospital I go to, they are actually seeing people. So I don't know. I don't go to that one because it's too far from me. That's the only reason I'm not going to that. And had to go to a CT scan, and I swear to God, I almost had a panic attack. So this is though months ago when things were really crazy, and I swear to God, I couldn't. I had to take the test, but I swear to God, I almost shit myself. So, but they were seeing patients, and they're seeing patients now. But the hospital I normally go to for my everyday doctor, it's virtual, and I'm just like, I need to see my doctor, and he needs to send a referral for a specialist, and it's just, you know, it doesn't make things easier. And again, I understand the concern, I understand that there's a process, but you know, I don't know. I just feel like for someone who has, like, I have a serious health issues, and not all of it is more related. I have other health issues. You know, people have to think about that, and doctors know this, and I'm just like, I don't know. So this is just my little ER experience, letting you guys know what I had to deal with and what I had to go through. And not just me, my sister went too. Obviously not inside, but where the what's that called? The waiting area. So she went there, and she kind of like, it was kind of scary for her too, because, you know, people have to wait there first before they get inside. So even that was a little bit scary for her too. And I get that too, because I would have been a little like, don't touch anything. So yeah, comment below if any of you guys had to go to the ER, if any of you feel like you have to go to the ER and are too scared to go to the ER, or even a doctor for that matter, or just like, nah, I'm gonna wait. Like, let me know, and if this was helpful for any of you guys. So please comment below, subscribe, like, all that good jazz. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.